Good evening. My name is David Beard, and I am the assistant principal at Solanco High School. I am one of two assistant principals. Our principal is Mr. Scott Long, and I have the privilege of speaking with you this evening as one of the leaders of the orientation program that we have here at Solanco called Link Crew. While Link Crew looked differently this year, we still had a student orientation today for freshmen, and it was really exciting. It felt great to get students into the building. And what I'm going to do tonight is speak to you specifically about incoming freshmen, and as parents and families that are having students come in the building, or maybe you're in a remote setting this year completely. But also, I hope that this video and presentation also help answer some questions for students and parents in all grades, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So the first part of this, I'm going to address some things that are new to this year, and then I'm going to focus specifically on the traditional orientation meeting that we would normally have at the high school, which is virtual now. So thank you for tuning in with me tonight. If you find this video to be helpful for others, feel free to share it, and I'm going to share some information that I hope can help you understand things maybe a little bit more specifically and better. I'm going to share my screen here because I am going to do a PowerPoint presentation so that I can make sure that I don't forget anything. Because it's important to me that I'm thorough with you right now. So first of all, I'm very excited to be with you tonight. My name is David Beard. I am the gentleman in the middle there. I was an assistant principal at Smith Middle School in the Slango School District for the last 6 years. Mr. Treese is also a new assistant principal with us this year. He was a dean of students in the Muhlenberg School District in the Reading area for the last 5 years. And Mr. Long, this is his second year as the principal of Solanco High School, and he has been in the district 7 or 8 years, but he's been in administration as an assistant principal at the high school here for, I believe, 5, and then 1 as a principal last year. We have an incredible team here in the office and with teachers. I'm really excited to be working with them, and I just think that this is a solid team, and what I like most about this group of individuals, they care about your kids, truthfully, and I respect that, and I love working with a group of people that is as passionate about helping the Slango students as I am. And that brings me to my next bunch of people here. So we have got our counseling department. This is an awesome group of gals. On the left here, you have Miss Marie Phillips. She is our career room coordinator. She does a lot of things with scheduling testing and planning college visits as they get older, but she's a jack of all trades. Mrs. Kelly Shoemaker is the second from left there, and Mrs. Shoemaker actually is the school counselor for students with last names H through P. Our next counselor next to her, the third from the left, her name is Miss Grace Cruz. Miss Cruz is new to us this year. She will be the counselor for students with last names Q through Z, and she's coming to us this year. And we're really excited about her. She brings a lot of experiences with her, so we think she's going to be great. And she's really been doing a great job already in a really difficult situation, especially for somebody new to a position. And the far right standing is Mrs. Patty McTaggart. Mrs. McTaggart is a counselor for students A through G. And her and Mrs. Shoemaker have been here for several years, and they are really knowledgeable. Miss Cruz is learning like crazy, and in front of them, she keeps the ship a sail. That is Miss Rhonda Bean. She is the secretary for that group. Really good group of ladies, and they care a lot about your students. We have a school resource officer here for the last several years. He actually serves the entire district, but Officer Dilworth is actually employed through Quarryville Police Department, and we contract with them, and we have an SRO program. So we also have video surveillance all throughout the building. It's been like that for several years, And in the last few years, I think in 2017, we built some exterior cameras as well. So we're consistently adding to that. We have over 130 cameras total in the high school. Bus cameras are being installed this year as well, and I believe now installed in almost all of the buses. So that'll add just to our ability to get things right and keep things safe, and help ensure safety throughout the entire district. We will use the footage as we need, like I said, to make sure that we can get things as accurate as possible and make sure that we are keeping people safe and accountable and doing our best to continue to help kids grow. So here's some things to know as I get started here. One, this is going to be an awesome year. I think it's really easy to just, throw your hands up and say, well, it is what it is. We'll get through this. Well, we're not getting through this anymore. Our teachers have worked incredibly hard to learn a new skill. We had 250 freshmen come in the building today, and they did that wearing masks, social distancing. We had about 70 link crew leaders who trained last week, who gave up some of their summer. We had staff that gave up their time to come in and train the link crew leaders. We're not here just to get through it. We're here to make this an incredible experience. And what we truly believe is that this is an opportunity for us to do some great things. People are struggling. We understand that there's a lot of anxiety and people are nervous and worried and not sure. What I want to say is thank you for trusting us. I have students, they are in school now. I have children who are students, are in school now. And I really am glad that I trust who their teachers are. And if I didn't, I wouldn't send them, because I want to make sure that in an environment where, there's a lot of things going on, that the individuals looking out for them have their best interests at heart. And I can trust that. And I appreciate greatly that you're going to trust us. And I love to have open conversation with parents. Mr. Treese is the same way, as is Mr. Long. Anytime you need us, you feel free to reach out. We will do our best. We have received a lot of communication recently, and we've done our best to reach out to you. And always, always, always feel free to communicate with us, because we think that truly this is a partnership. You know your child better than we do. And I think together is where the magic is, because we can help them grow and reach their potential. Because these are the years here where they're deciding, college or career. How do I prepare to be successful? And we are helping them balance all of those things to get to the level that we know that they can achieve. This website, I've got it posted. I'm going to open it up during this. It is a website that Mr. Long created. It's got a lot of these documents that I'm going to explain in this video. I want you to dive in deeper. I'm not going to go into too much detail in each individual document, because you'll be able to look at it yourself. Make sure your students know how to access their email account. Most email accounts, so my, for example, is david_beard@solancosd.org. If I was a student, so all student accounts, so if I was a student, my email would be david_beard@student.solancosd.org. Okay, that's important that they understand what their email address is, because with their email address, they're going to be doing a lot of communication with teachers. They're going to use that to log into their Schoology page, where all their instruction is going to be housed. If you need a laptop computer, tomorrow evening, actually, August 27th from 3 to 7, we are doing a mass distribution of laptops. We have it open from 3 to 7. You can enter right outside the weight room entrance facing the stadium. And then I just want to share again, masks will need to be worn in the school and need to be worn properly. I know this is new for all of us. We will have empathy and helping, understanding that this is going to be difficult for people at first. You're learning how to wear them, but they must cover the mouth and the nose, okay? We're going to be practicing social distancing as well in our building this year. So transition to the high school. Your freshman year matters. Every year matters. But this is a brand new year, and you're getting a brand new start. You've got new teachers, and really, I mean, this is the last stretch before you graduate. And we really want students to get off to a good start, and we really want them to start to dive in and become advocates for themselves, both with their education. So that means understanding GPA and credits, how to manage your time. That's going to be especially important this year in the format, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And start to identify, what do I want to do in the future? All right, do I want college or career? There's a lot of cool CTC options. When students start to get into 11th grade, they could do a half-day CTC program. There are dual enrollment options where they can actually get college credits while they're still in high school. So start to identify what direction you want to go into, and you can really set yourself up for success. You're going to have more teachers than you've ever had. There's more students. The high school serves about 1,100 students overall, and that means, you know, even with students in CTC and kind of other programs as well. But it's a big place. So make sure you make your mark here, get involved, find something that you get excited about, that wakes you up in the morning, makes you want to come to school, and really, really, really have fun while you're here. Okay, I want to talk to you about the two options which you would have already selected. So Mr. Long, if he has not already, is going to be, over the next 24 hours, sending an email to all families. And that email is going to confirm the selection that you made on the district survey. So we had many, many, many families complete the survey, and thank you so much. On that survey, you would have either selected Flex or in-person. If you're watching this video, you would have selected Flex or in-person. Okay, I'm going to explain the difference. So in-person, it is web-based instruction, even in class. That means that the instruction is going to be on the computer and housed on Schoology. You would be in the building twice a week and remote 3 days a week. In the building means A through L on Monday and Tuesday. If your last name starts with A through L, if it starts with M through Z, you're in the building on Thursday and Friday, and then you would be a remote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If your last name is A through L, you would be a remote Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Follow the schedule of classes, no matter if you're in a remote setting or if you're in person. You're actually going to log on at that specific time. We'll talk about that a little bit more, and you will do your work on what teachers are going to call playlists. There'll be a list of assignments in Schoology for every class, and you'll work through that actually during your class time. And the reason for that is because we're going to have a combination of synchronous and asynchronous activities, which is going to allow the teacher to engage you and really chat with you, speak to you, provide you feedback, allow you to collaborate with other students, just as if you were in the building, even on the remote days, okay? So there is an expectation to be in attendance and engage, whether you are in person or remote, those 3 other days, all right? Now Flex, if you notice, I said it's web-based instruction just like in person. However, it's remote every day, not 3 days a week. You're remote every day. You follow the schedule of classes just like you would in the in-person option, and the expectation to be in attendance and engage, just like in the in-person option. So really, essentially, the instruction is the same. You are going to get the same experience in either one. Our teachers have prepared. They've trained in multiple different online tools so that they can provide high-quality instruction and make sure that they're engaging you. And the reason we're doing this is because if we do need to switch in or out into a full remote, or, you know, let's say that situations slow down and people become more comfortable and they would like to come in the building, we would welcome you back in the building, and you would continue with your instruction just like you did when you were in the Flex option. So it really allows us to transition. However, when you selected that option, we will continue to communicate that we asked you to select that option for at least a marking period. Now, if the situation occurs and you find the need to switch, you can talk to your assistant principal and we will work through that on a case-by-case basis, but we really want to see how this looks for the first marking period, and we will go from there. So attendance. Overall, attendance really is the single biggest factor in student success at any grade, but really as a ninth grader. Because of all the factors we said before, you are starting in a new building and it is large, and you have to develop good habits. And when you're there, you can be successful. Our teachers have worked hard to be prepared to help your child be successful as well. Unexcused absences result in the inability to hand in coursework. And that's why attendance is so important, especially if you get behind. If you fall behind, it's very difficult to catch up, especially if you find the work hard already. You will need a note for any excused absence. For it to be considered excused, you will need a note, and it has to be turned in within 5 school days of the date that you were absent. If there are continued excused absences, if it gets to that point, we may require you to have a doctor's note every time there is an absence. When the school starts, parents may write notes to excuse absences, but again, if you get to a level where that becomes a consistency, it could get to the point where a doctor's note is required. And we would do that just to ensure that the child is safe. If there is something happening, maybe they do need to be seen by a doctor to ensure that they're, being treated and cared for so that they can take care of whatever is preventing them from coming to school. So any student participating in extracurricular activities, they have to be present in order to participate. And in the flex option, that would mean they have to be present in the remote setting and logging into their classes and completing their assignments. Tardies can be excused and will be excused with the note, same way that the attendance goes with absences. A student needs to arrive by 9:52 in order to be able to participate in activities that day if they are tardy. And that goes with the flex setting, or they need to be logging on and doing the work up till 9:52. So again, attendance applies for both flex and in person. So the procedure still applies as they do in person, just like the handbook. Educational trip forms will still need to be completed if you're going on a trip and don't plan to be on your remote instruction on your 3 days out if you're in person, or in your flex. So if you're full flex, full remote, you would still need an educational trip form so your teachers know not to expect you virtually that day. You would still call if your child's going to not be present, just like you would in the in-person setting, whether they're remote or they're full flex. Please provide doctor's notes, and overall, just communicate with your teachers. Communication is going to be extremely important this year. And we talked about students advocating for themselves. So students can be advocating by sharing if they're going to be absent before they're actually absent, if it's planned, if they know that it's going to occur. Okay, so what does instruction look like? So I said it's going to be web-based instruction. I said it's going to be the same instruction whether you're in the remote setting, the 3 days that you're out of the in-person option, or if you're full flex and remote every day. So students are going to log on at the beginning of their class period, and they're going to log into Schoology. Their schedules are going to have A and B days. Okay, we're going to block scheduling this year, so Monday will be an A day, Tuesday will be a B day. When your schedules get open on Power School, and they should be by tomorrow, you will see this A-B block schedule, okay? Classes are going to be about 85 minutes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday, there's going to be 50-minute classes because you will see all classes that day in a virtual setting. Teachers may have more synchronous opportunities for you that day, and that might include more live Zoom sessions, which might even look a little different than what you have on the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday remote learning and instruction. All right. Teachers are going to incorporate some direct instruction, some independent work, collaborative work. And the reason for this, just like they would if we were at the beginning of last year, when you were going to school and you had classes, teachers did these things all the time. They had you collaborate with peers. You might be doing some peer editing. They had you do independent work, which means, you might work on some website. They had you do some direct instruction work, which means that they gave you direct instruction. It's going to be the same. It's just going to look a little different. So the direct instruction might not be them standing up live in a live feed on them while they're talking to the in-person class. It's most likely going to be pre-recorded snippets of a lecture. And why? Well, because it's more engaging and it provides them the opportunity to do little check-ins in between each video, right? And that could be a discussion post. It could be a response, a written prompt. It could be that they check in with you with the Zoom. The independent work, they're going to have actually live access to your work, because when you submit work online in a web-based setting, it goes to them in real time, and then they'll be able to provide you feedback throughout that class period. So let's say you're watching a video on Discovery Ed, and then they have a writing prompt on your Schoology page, and then you submit it. Well, as you're moving on to your next playlist item, they can actually be assessing the work that you did and provide you feedback. Just like in a real class, you're going back and forth with the teacher, you're submitting some work, getting feedback, going back, rewriting it. It's just being done remotely. And what's going to help the teachers are a lot of these tools that they've learned over the summer. Collaborative work, you might use Google Docs, the Google Suite, Google Slides. There's a lot of cool tools out there that are going to allow you to still work with groups of students to do this. So teachers will engage learners with the content both synchronously and asynchronously through playlists. Before I move on, what I am going to actually do is I am going to stop this screen share, and I am going to go back. So here I'm going to share the website Mr. Long has put up. That earlier in the slides you will see the link for that. So here we go. Here is Mr. Long's website. I'm just going to flip through some things very quickly. I'm going to let you dive into things a little bit more on your own. So all the reopening plans, procedures that we put together are in this first section right here. Okay, and when you open it up, you'll see a lot of different things in here. Here's a table of contents. It talks about what lunches are going to look like, what we're doing for assemblies this year, AB block schedule, which is on page 8 really is where you'll see the schedule, what Wednesdays are going to look like, remote learning expectations, water fountains, how we encourage people to bring their own bottles this year. It talks about face masks. So really dive into this document. This is going to help a lot. But I'm going to jump to page 8 real quick just to give you a little bit of insight here with the schedule. So this is what the schedule looks like. So you'll see Monday is day A, Tuesday is day B, Thursday is day A, Friday is day B. Wednesday is a separate day as far as not following the block schedule. So on day A, you really have, if you think of there being 7 periods in a day, 8 periods in a day with the advisory period, you have periods 1 through 4 on Monday and periods 5 through advisory, 5, 6, 7 in advisory on Tuesday. And then again on Thursday, day A, periods 1 through 4, and day B, periods 5 through advisory. Okay? Each period is going to be about 85 minutes in that setting. Now, if I beard in person, I go to school on Monday and Tuesday, if I'm in the in-person setting, and I'm remote Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's say I have social studies period 1. So I'm going to go to my social studies for my period 1 class at 7:45 in person, and I do my web-based instruction in class. And then I have social studies again on Wednesday, period 1, on the virtual setting, right here, 7:45 to 8:35. And then I have social studies again, day A, because day A is my social studies, period 1. Okay? Again, another 85 minutes. So essentially I have that social studies. I see that social studies teacher for instruction 3 times a week. 2 of them are in the block scheduling format, and 1 is in the 50-minute, more of a traditional type of schedule. Okay? So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about what the schedule will look like. I'm going to flip back here, because if you scroll down and really dive into that, if you have questions, ask us. Health screening procedures. This is an important document. So self-screen before you come to school, and it talks about what the symptom monitoring tool will look like, and really what that self-screening process looks like. All right. Scroll down, talks about, are you flex or remote the first day? So let's say my last name is Robertson. And I'm in person. I would not be going to school August 31st, or even on that Tuesday, September 1st, or even Wednesday. So I don't go to school actually until next Thursday for the first time in person. But that doesn't mean I don't start school. I actually log on my computer on the first day. I log into PowerSchool, find out what my schedule is. Then I communicate with that teacher, get on Schoology. The teacher's probably already communicating with you through email. Log on to Schoology. And then I actually start my classes at the regular time, 7:45, just like my schedule says. And then during that time, I work through everything on that playlist and do my work, communicate with the teacher as I need to. And then at 9:15, I move on to block 2, my period 2 class, according to my schedule. And schedules will be open again tomorrow through PowerSchool. Okay. I'm going to jump back here. Laptop distribution talks about, that's a letter that went out to everybody, and laptop is tomorrow. Distribution is tomorrow from 3 to 7. Technology support. So this talks about what can I do for technology support if I'm fully remote and flex, or even in the remote setting. There's a student help desk line through email. It's student support at slankosd.org, and that is in here. That's right here. But there are a lot of things. It talks about caring for the equipment, talks about Schoology. There is a lot of information for parents and for students in this document. So it's really well done. It talks about PowerSchool access. Make sure you dive into this and become familiar with it, because it's really, really, really going to help you a lot. Okay? So this website is going to be very valuable to you. And this website will be emailed to you all, and I will also post it on the social media sites as well for you all. All right, so what's synchronous and asynchronous? I've been using that term a lot. So synchronous basically means like real time. So if I was doing a live Zoom with you right now, that would be synchronous. This right here, this video, this is asynchronous, because you could actually watch it, not when I'm actually doing it, right? So that would be the difference. And it doesn't have to just be a video. It could be a live chat, some sort of communication. You're both working on a Google Doc together. That's all synchronous things. It's happening in real time. Asynchronous means that it was something previously done. You don't have to do it at that exact moment. However, it's still expected to be done in the flex model within that class period. If it's part of the actual playlist, it doesn't mean that you can go and work then, log on at 1 a.m. because the teachers are there to provide you feedback and help you through assignments, just like they would in the classroom. Okay? So here's some examples here of synchronous and asynchronous work. Synchronous work could be there's a live chat about a TED Talk that you watched, or you do a live Zoom check-in. Maybe the teacher says they see something in the work that's being submitted, and they say, you know what? I need to chat with you. They send you an email, say, hey, can you get on a Zoom and let's talk about this? Synchronous. Asynchronous, maybe a lecture's been pre-recorded, and there's a discussion post that you have to post about. And then maybe a student's supposed to post about your discussion. And then it just builds upon each other, but it's not done live. It's done throughout the class period. Okay? There's lots of ways you can do that. All right. Now we're going to go into some of our building pieces. So if you are not a freshman and you just tuned into this because you wanted to learn about some of the new things, this is where we go into things that you're probably already familiar with, but you're welcome to stay on if you want to learn. So the Renaissance program is basically our incentive program. We really want to focus on attendance, academics, and behavior. And the reason we do that is because those three pieces, they lead to success. And we track those in many forms. But through the Renaissance program, students have an opportunity of earning a lot of cool incentives. In the past, we've done ice cream socials, homework passes, movie days, free passes to athletic events, trips, all kinds of extra opportunities. I actually talked to some of the coordinators of the Renaissance program today, and they're already thinking of what they can do in this setting to still provide some cool incentives. So this is still here, and it's a wonderful program. So we really support ninth graders because we don't want them to fall through the cracks, and we don't want them to get off to a slow start. 97% of ninth graders last year moved on to 10th grade. That's incredible. We do that through weekly check-ins with the teacher, our Link Crew mentors who actually worked with our freshmen today. They work with freshmen throughout the entire year. We have a program called Check and Connect. If students are starting to show some concerns with attendance, academics, or behavior, then we'll talk a little more in depth with our Check and Connect trained mentors and our coordinators. And, you know, really science, math, social studies, any extra English, any of the extra core classes that we find they're falling behind on, maybe they're struggling in reading, like we'll dive into what the problem is. We'll provide some extra supports and advisory. We have structured advisories that are going to really help with that process as well. We do a character education component, guidance lesson focused on college and career readiness. So Slango Stands Together is really our anti-bullying program, and this is built around the concept of dignity. It's a wild time in the world with all sorts of things, politically, health-wise, all kinds of things. And you know what? We respect people here. We treat people with dignity, and we do what's right for people. And it's a cliche, but you know, do or treat people how you want to be treated, ultimately. And you know, when I worked in a middle school, I said that often to students, and I'm going to continue to say it because it applies to people of all ages. So if there are concerns, we want students to be advocates. This is their building. This is their school. They are a Solanco student. They are a golden mule. So they're going to stand up for one another. And you know what? They don't have to do it physically. They can just share it with us. Let myself, Mr. Treese, Mr. Long, any of the counselors know. You can email. We have lend-a-hand lockers, which if you came from the middle schools, work the same way. If you're new to the high school, you just write some on a card, fold it, slide it into one of the marked lockers around the building, and you can see them. They're black and gold painted. They look different than the other lockers. So there's an online report on our high school homepage, and you can get there through the district page. So we have a lot of cool planned activities throughout the year. We are going to continue to try to do this in the remote setting as well. So we have the Avidum program, the Link Crew, which was today, the Renaissance program, which I described a little bit, Rachel's Challenge, which is an incredible program that promotes kindness. And it was actually born out of the unfortunate death of a student named Rachel Scott from the Columbine incident in 1999, I believe that year it was. So really that program's done incredible things across the country with building culture in schools. And we got on board with that because we really appreciated what they were doing. So dignity honored. I talked a lot about these things already, but if we see that there are concerns with students, a group of students, individual students, where they're not treating others with dignity, we can involve some interventions, peer mediation. We have cease and desist orders, anti-bullying lessons, parent conferences, student assistance program, and just basic discipline as well. But ultimately, discipline is helping people learn. It's teaching them. And we do that because we want them to understand, we want them to be successful, and we want them to learn how to treat others with dignity and respect. So class of 2024, right? What a wild start. And you're going to have an incredible career at Solanco High School. I have no doubts. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for trusting us with your kids. Students, thank you for wanting to come to school and be with us. We want you here. We are so excited. Our staff is jumping out of their skin. They can't wait to have you back in the classroom. And it's going to be a fun year because you're going to make it fun. Okay, so thank you. And if you need anything, feel free to call the high school and ask for me or Mr. Treese, and we will help you as best as we can. So have an awesome night.